Hello, class. Before we go on to Chapter 2, I just wanted to tie up some loose ends that I didn't include in Chapter 1 and cover two other elements there. The first one is dynamics. We talked earlier about pitch. Another element of music is dynamics, and it's probably one of the elements that you probably first notice when you're listening to a piece of music. The definition of what dynamics are, it's basically the dynamics are determined by how loud or soft musicians sing or play. So it's in music, it's the relative loudness or softness of sound. And in order for musicians to know when or how to play certain dynamic levels there, we have various dynamic symbols that I'd like all of you to be familiar with there. In your textbook on pages 6 and 7, they have these symbols written out for you, but the ones that you should probably be most familiar with are the letter F. The letter F, when it's used in music notation, stands for forte. Forte means, in Italian, means to be played loudly. All right. Well, most of the dynamic symbols, still even to this day, are written in Italian. And on the flip side of that is the letter P, which stands for piano. And piano actually means to play or sing softly. Now, a lot of times sections of music are loud, and then sections are soft. But sometimes notes stand out from others, and there's another term that we use, which is called an accent. All right, if I use an accent in my voice, there's something that makes my voice stand out from other people's voices. Now, when you're using an accent in music, musicians emphasize one tone around all the others, so that something, that one note stands out. So if I'm playing something on the piano like this, sometimes you'll hear accented notes there to emphasize certain tones that you want. And then, as I mentioned earlier, Italian terms are used to indicate the dynamic levels. And then here is a chart. It's very much what you see there on page 6 in your textbook. We have also symbols for very soft. Pianissimo means to be played very soft. And then fortissimo means to be played very loud. And then in the middle ranges, we have also this mezzo piano and mezzo forte. All right, mezzo piano means moderately soft, and then mezzo forte means moderately loud. And we even have extremes that you don't have to know, but of course when musicians see it, you can pretty much derive what they particularly mean. Like 3Ps stands for very, very soft, and then if probably more in 20th century music they don't use this indication. PPPP, 4Ps would be very, very, very soft there, right? And then same thing goes with the extremes of forte as well. Also, music can move gradually from one dynamic level to the next, and we call these, there's two different gradual dynamic symbols that we use. One is the crescendo. Crescendo looks like that. All right, you could kind of tell what it is basically by the way that the shape of that the two lines are going away from each other. It's like they're getting bigger. And the other one is called decrescendo, which is the opposite of crescendo, or another terminology, at least that I like to use, is diminuendo. That means to get gradually softer. And as you can determine here, it looks just like the opposite of the crescendo symbol. The next property of sound or element of music is what we call tone color. And that's kind of a interesting terminology, because how can tone, sound, which doesn't have a visual representation here, how can it have any color to it there? Tone color refers to what we call the timbre of the sound there. Timbre, not timber, but timbre. All right. The timbre is the quality of the sound. A tone could have the same pitch, it could have the same dynamic, but there might be something about the physical makeup of the tone that makes it stand out from the other, from another tone that has the exact same pitches or dynamics there. Right. Words that we use to describe tone color, like when you hear something, hear a particular tone, it could be bright, it could be dark, it could sound hollow, when something is covered up like this. It could sound mellow, or there's so many different ones. It could sound rough or raspy. All right, those are some of the words that we use to describe the timbre or tone color of the sound here. And it does provide a lot of variety and contrast to the music that you're listening to. You could change the pitch, you could change the dynamics, but the tone color is the uniqueness of the sound, I think. All right. It also can add continuity, particularly like if you're putting something together for orchestra, have move from one instrument to another instrument using the same melody or same tones there, but then it adds the sense of movement to the music. So specific melodies are associated with specific tone colors. And composers frequently blend sounds of instruments to create new tone colors, like if you mix together strings with brass or flutes with oboes. You could create some really unique sounds by just blending them together. And we're fortunate to be living in a time where modern electronic instruments, digital instruments, synthesizers can really expand this beyond has been physically capable of what we were physically capable of creating with certain instruments there. So we can create some virtual instruments with these really unique tone colors, and we'll discuss more of that as we move along here into Chapter 2.